This is not your average leather jacket. The distinct deep grain you see here tells a story of the African savanna.
It is crafted from one of the toughest and most exclusive natural materials in the world, giraffe leather.
Known for its incredible density and durability, this material requires specialized machinery and expert craftsmanship to handle.
Today, we are taking you inside the factory to see exactly how these massive hides are transformed into luxury apparel.
From the chemical baths of the tannery to the final stitch of the tailor, this is the full manufacturing process. The journey begins here at the receiving dock of a specialized exotic tannery.
The raw hides arrive from strictly regulated sources, often part of wildlife management programs.
Preservation is key. These hides have been heavily salted to prevent decomposition during transport.
The first thing you notice is the sheer size. A single giraffe hide is significantly larger and heavier than typical cattle leather. But the real challenge is the thickness. In some areas, the skin can be nearly an inch thick. Before processing begins, workers trim away the rough edges and tag each hide for traceability.
Once inspected and trimmed, the hides are moved to the beam house, the wettest part of the factory. Here, they are loaded into massive rotating drums for the first critical step, soaking.
Water and surfactants are pumped in to wash away the salt and dirt, rehydrating the skin fibers.
This rehydration process can take up to 24 hours, preparing the dense structure for chemical treatment.
Inside the drum, the tumbling action helps loosen the fibers without damaging the unique grain pattern. Once clean and soft, the hides are unloaded. They are now extremely heavy with water weight.
Next comes the fleshing machine. This device strips away organic remnants from the underside of the skin.
Sharp, spiral blades scrape the surface clean, ensuring the leather will be uniform and rot-free.
The result is a clean, white surface on the underside, ready for the dehairing process.
Sodium sulfide and lime break down the hair follicles, leaving the grain surface smooth and exposed.
For giraffe leather, this step is carefully monitored to preserve the natural scarring and texture that gives the leather its character. Technicians check the pH levels constantly. If the solution is too strong, it could ruin the expensive hide.
Once the hair is dissolved, the chemicals are drained and the hides are washed thoroughly with fresh water.
The hide is now in a state called pelt. It is rubbery, swollen, and very thick.
Now we face the biggest challenge with giraffe skin, its incredible thickness.
A standard jacket cannot be made from inch-thick skin, so it must be split into layers.
A high-precision band knife slices horizontally through the hide, separating the top grain from the bottom split. The top layer, containing the beautiful natural grain, is what will become our jacket.
Even after splitting, giraffe leather remains denser than cowhide, requiring further shaving.
The shaving machine uses a helical cylinder to level the thickness to a precise millimeter count.
This ensures that the leather will be flexible enough to wear, while retaining its legendary strength.
Now the pelt is ready for the actual tanning process, which converts the skin into non-perishable leather.
Most jacket leather is chrome tanned, using mineral salts to stabilize the collagen fibers. The hides tumble in this solution for several hours until the tanning agents have penetrated all the way through. A cut test reveals a uniform blue color, confirming that the tanning process is complete.
At this stage, the material is known as wet blue. It is stable and will no longer rot.
To remove excess water, The wet blue is passed through a sammying machine, which acts like a giant wringer. High pressure squeezes out moisture, preparing the leather to absorb dyes and oils.
Workers inspect the wet blue hides for natural defects like thorn scratches or tick bites, common in wild giraffes.
These natural imperfections are often preserved as a mark of authenticity, but major flaws are marked to be avoided.
The hides now enter the retanning and dyeing phase to determine the final character of the leather.
Hot water and concentrated dyes are added. Today, we are creating a classic cognac brown finish. They also add fat liquors, special oils that lubricate the fibers so the leather won't dry out stiff. This cycle can take up to 8 hours, ensuring deep color penetration and softness. When the drums are opened, the blue color is gone, replaced by a rich, deep earth tone. The dyed skins are hoisted onto an overhead toggle dryer or vacuum dryer. For a smooth finish, a vacuum dryer sucks out the moisture while pressing the leather flat against a heated plate. This method dries the leather quickly while keeping the grain tight and flat.
Alternatively, toggling frames stretch the skin to maximize the surface area as it dries. Once dry, the leather is stiff and crinkle. It needs to be softened.
The staking machine mechanically massages the leather, flexing it thousands of times a minute.
This breaks the stiffness and returns the soft, luxurious feel required for a high-end jacket.
Finally, the leather moves to the finishing department.
An automated spray line applies a light protective coat to seal the color and add water resistance.
This coating must be thin enough to let the leather breathe, but strong enough to protect it.
A final press creates a satin sheen, highlighting the unique pebble grain of the giraffe hide.
The tanning process is complete. These skins are now ready to be cut and sewn.
We now move to the garment manufacturing floor, where the leather becomes a jacket.
It starts with design. The pattern for a leather jacket is complex, often requiring over 40 separate pieces.
Unlike fabric, leather has natural flaws, so pattern placement is an art form.
The cutter spreads the hide and visually inspects every inch, looking for scars or weak spots.
He marks imperfections with chalk. The goal is to place the main panels on the cleanest parts of the hide.
The back and front panels need the strongest leather, while softer areas are used for pockets or collars.
Cutting is often done by hand to ensure precision with the tough giraffe hide.
For intricate details, some modern factories use laser cutting systems for absolute accuracy. The edges of these pieces are still too thick to overlap and sew neatly.
This is where skeeving comes in. A machine shaves down the very edge of the leather to a tapered point.
Skeeving reduces bulk at the seams, allowing the heavy giraffe leather to be stitched without creating ridges.
For certain seams, a temporary adhesive is applied to hold the pieces in place before stitching.
The edges are folded and hammered flat, a manual process that prepares the seam for the machine. They use heavy-duty walking foot machines designed to feed thick leather evenly without bunching.
The needles are chisel-tipped to slice through the dense fiber structure of the giraffe hide.
A lining of satin or quilted polyester is prepared to provide comfort against the skin. The leather shell and the fabric lining are sewn together, usually inside out.
Once attached, the jacket is berthed, turned right side out through a small opening in the lining.
Quality control checks the hardware immediately. Every zipper must glide smoothly.
The jacket is nearly finished, but it's not ready for the customer yet.
Detailers use small brushes to dye the raw edges of the leather that might be exposed. Any chalk marks or fingerprints from production are wiped away with a mild conditioning cleaner.
A final thread trimming ensures no loose ends are visible inside or out.
A gentle steam relaxes the leather and removes any wrinkles formed during the turning process.
Under bright lights, the unique grain of the giraffe leather is inspected one last time.
The distinctive pattern is what makes this product so sought after. No two jackets are exactly alike.
Hang tags are attached, certifying the material's authenticity and care instructions.
The finished jackets are sorted by size and prepared for packaging.
Because leather can stick to itself, tissue paper is placed between the folds.
It is then placed into a breathable garment bag to protect it during shipping.
Finally, boxed and labeled, this piece of craftsmanship is ready to be shipped worldwide.
From a rough, salted hide on the factory floor to a sophisticated fashion statement.
We've seen the chemistry of tanning that preserves the material for decades.
We've witnessed the precision of the skilled tailors who shape the stubborn material.
The result is a jacket that is incredibly tough, yet comfortable enough for daily wear. Giraffe leather is prized for its longevity. With proper care, this jacket can last a lifetime.
Every scar and grain line tells the story of its origin.
And that is how a giraffe leather jacket is made.
If you enjoyed this look inside the world of exotic leather, hit that subscribe button for more industrial documentaries.
Tensile testing ensures the leather meets the high standards required for luxury goods. They also test for water resistance, ensuring the finish can withstand the elements.
Rub tests confirm that the dye won't transfer onto your clothes while wearing the jacket.
Modern tanneries also operate extensive water treatment plants to process the chemicals used.
Ensuring that the water leaving the factory is clean is a vital part of sustainable leather production. Sustainability, quality, and craftsmanship come together in every piece produced here.
Thanks for watching.